first and foremost, how are you doing today? How was your day today? I hope it was, no, I have faith that it was a good day. And also that if it wasn't, just know that there is another day and then another day and another day to always turn around for you to happen. Make sure that you don't give up when it seems like all hope is lost, because at the end it is not lost. Just keep on moving, because there is some times and some things that happen and we have no control over them. Honestly, we don't. And I tell myself that tomorrow's not promised as well. I understand that. Also, you cannot focus on tomorrow. You have to focus on, you can, don't get me wrong. Yet, focusing on what's right here and right now in front of us is the best thing we can do with our lives. What I'm doing here today is I'm building a ramp for a customer. The person states that the child that is in need of this ramp is having a struggling time with the ramp that is already implanted for them. So what I am doing here is I'm building them a new one. I got my angle set up just like that. With the first, what I did was I lined up how far I wanted my ramp to be, which was 2 foot. Then I took my tape measure and I took it to the corner of the board and to the 2 foot line that I drew, as you could see, and I made a diagonal cut. Now I am cutting the base or the back part of the ramp that's going to be screwed into the 2 angles I just cut. Again, if you are having a troubled time, know that it's not forever. Nothing is forever. Everything that we go through is temporary. Everything we have is temporary. The house you own, the life that you have. The life that you have is not promised. And we should all take that into consideration. And we should all cherish life as well. Because what are we going to do with our lives if we don't have them? And what are we going to do if we do have them? It's hard to say. It is hard to say. But what we do know is we know we got to take care of each other. It doesn't matter who you are, what race you are, what culture you are, what religion you are. At these times, right now, nothing should matter more than us helping each other and helping our planet. Our planet is in dire need. And honestly, it feels like it's, you know what, I'm not even going to speak of it. It doesn't have to, because I know every person on this earth and every being on this earth knows what I'm talking about. Nobody knows what's going on, but everybody knows what's going on. Everyone speaks on it, also doesn't act on it, doesn't take the necessary steps to prevent on what's going on. We are on the brink of everything going wrong. Are we going to change? This is what my videos are for, is I seek the change in our lives, because I know that we can change. I know that we can do better. It's a matter if we want to or not. Our egos are so high and mighty. They are so high and mighty in all of our egos. I have a high ego myself. what I'm doing here is I'm planing the board because the angle that I had cut, they were not lining up for some reason against the board, so I decided to make a flatter surface, which just in turn made it better. Also, it didn't help that the angle wasn't perfectly cut either. Still, nothing has to be perfect, to be honest. This wasn't precision work, this was just me working on a ramp that needed to be done. And it's built to last, trust me. It's not just built to, oh, it's gonna break the next week. No, this thing will last a long time. Again, we are on the brink of something happening for us, to us, whatever. And everybody's got this hypertensive mood or mode. Everyone's got to get it. Everyone's hateful. What I'm doing here is I'm pushing the screw in and out so it has a better fit. See, if you continue to push the screw in, right, it won't fit correctly. So you'll have to push it in, then push it back out in order for it to be completely, or to come together better. And sometimes if you don't do that, you can accidentally crack the board. These boards, on the other hand, are thicker than that, so I didn't really have to do that. Still, it was a necessity that I chose to do because, no, we're not doing that. We're going to do a better job than just throwing something together. Obviously, it was kind of thrown together. Still, it wasn't just thrown together, you know. Or do you know? Anyways, everything is on, what are the words I'm trying to say? On a flight mode or fight mode. Everyone's so mad. Everyone's so impatient. Oh, the impatient part is high on all of us. I think as of right now, we need to be more patient than anything before we act on anything. I don't believe that this earth could take another war, honestly. And not to say that there is a higher power. I believe that we were given the keys from whatever that has created us, and be that as we may, whether it be evolution, God, aliens, whoever, whatever has put us here. We were given the keys, us as the most intelligent beings on this earth, and yet that, as we know, okay, as we know, that we know of, the most intelligent beings that we know of, hell, dolphins could be the Atlanteans that we so heartily talk about in books. We don't know. Because we're so closed-minded in most ways. How can you be so closed-minded, also be so open-minded? Humanity. And humanity in itself is a question, isn't it? Do we even have our humanity anymore? Here I'm using 2-inch screws. I'm just sending them in. See, I backed it out and pushed it back in. Right there. That's what I mean, is we push it in, then we push it back out to get the excess wood that is in there that you chipped away. See, when you push a screw in, you chip wood away. So when you chip wood away, it's pushing the wood out. Like, let's see, like kind of like let's see, a basketball underneath this is tough. Let's say a basketball's underneath a piece of concrete slab and you air it up and it pushes it up, right? All right. Well, what the wood is doing is you're chipping the wood away and it's pushing out. So when you're pushing the screw in, it's creating a mass, and the wood that's accessed from the wood that you're chipping away from the screw is getting pushed out into the other pieces of wood, which formulates a crack. That is what I mean by you should push it in and push it back out. This is just like scrap wood that I found laying around. Well, honestly, I didn't find laying around because I save a lot of wood. I like to save wood just in case of projects like this. It wasn't too hard of a project. It is tough to get the right angle and to get flat for a lot of things. You can have the best tools on earth and you still could be crooked at the same time. I measured it, and now I'm still crooked, so I had to shave off a little bit more. Yeah, these people, us in general, we have had so much happen to us. Whether it be the incident that happened in California, or where was it? Was it California or Miami? Somewhere where there was aliens, or what's going on now with Cuba and Russia at the borders of Florida, and who else? What else has happened for us? COVID-19. Oh my goodness. All of these people just passing away. All of these famous people, or people that are in your family that are close by, that are right next door, that are just passing away unknowingly. Why? All of these things that have happened. I'm angling the saw to where I could get a flatter, or not a flat, so I could lay it down flat to the ground. Because if I didn't do that, there would still be a corner and be lifted up. How could I say this? There would still be a little lip if I didn't do that. Here I'm finishing and placing the boards. I didn't put all the screws in yet. These are just 2.5 inch screws in a 5 by 2, 5.5 by 2, probably supposed to be a 6 by 2, and they lied and said it was, okay, let's say this. They lied to say that it was a 6 by 2, and really it was a 5.5 by 2, which is strangely, what is the words I'm looking for? Happening more often than not, that the measurements are off. So, honestly, if big companies and everything else are getting things wrong, measurements wrong, nothing's perfect. Nothing in this world is perfect. Nothing. And we as human beings like to believe that we are, from the highest up to the lowest down. I mean, you find those people that are humble still. They still think that they're high up there because of the way they are, because they're humbled. I even act that way sometimes myself. Then again, I bring myself back down because I'm nobody important and I'm everybody important. I'm important and I'm not important. I'm important to the people that I am important to. And what I'm worried about is my little world. my little world is also our big world. Because we have been told to just worry about your little world and what's going on in your little world. What happens when my little world gets my little world gets crashed into by somebody else's little world? Then what? Is that called the Big Bang Theory? Of course, figuratively speaking here, my little world is what I have in control of course. And you cannot control the whole entire world, of course, we know this. What we can do is control our actions and our behavior. Taking a deep breath is one. I want you to practice something. You don't have to if you don't want to. Now what I just did was I took a deep breath in through my nose and out through my mouth. That helps tremendously. You can do that anywhere, anytime, no matter the circumstance. You could be in an argument with somebody. You could be in a gunfight with somebody. You could be doing something. Just take a deep breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth, and breathe. Some of the worst mistakes that we ever make in our lives is that we don't take a breath before we speak or act and think. Right here is, I got the measurements off, so I had to come back and cut, I believe, an inch off. And even then, when I did cut it off, I was still like maybe a 16th of an inch off when I took it back to the customer. Seriously, take as many breaths as you need, because sometimes things get said and that aren't meant at all. And what I mean by aren't meant is, you could say something and not meaning it in that direction. Still, it sounded like you meant it in that direction by the carried voice or the tone that you gave across. The tone is key. We yell at each other when we're right next to each other. Why do we do that? We're right there. We can just talk to each other. We don't have to yell. When we start to yell at each other, nobody's listening to each other except for their own opinions in their head. We turn into little children that go in and hide and wait for one word to pop up, and then we act on that one word, meaning that one word that somebody said to you, like it could be any word, any algorithm of arguments, anything. It just pissed, or let me not say that. It just aggravated you to the point where you were just mad. And honestly, that's not okay. And that's where taking a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth comes from. There's going to be struggles for all of us. And I'm not saying go over there and help your neighbor cut their yard and do everything else, scratch their back for them, and then expect something in return. No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Here I am cutting that inch off. You can tell that it's not a straight line. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a straight line. You know, I come to the conclusion of multiple conclusions actually, that like I said, that not everything's perfect. Also, if you tend to want everything to be perfect, that is very exhausting. And at the end, when it's all said and done, when everything's perfect the way you want it to be, and you expect someone to critique your work as you thought it would be perfect, little lo and behold, that person that you expected it to critique you and say it was a perfect job will think that it was a horrible job, or it could have been better. So, do not. You know what? You do what you want. Also, you will exhaust yourself with doing that. It's just a fair warning. Just come to terms with being happy with what you do for you. Make yourself happy, so you in turn can flourish and radioactivate those waves. Your waves of you being happy. This is thing that I thought from Walmart. Some chestnut, I believe. I just took some picked out onto the surface. So it lasts longer. Well, so moss will take longer to grow on. As bad, it will last longer. The oils inside of it will help it last longer. What I mean by your decision on reading and when you react. Everything you need to do right. And, I said this in my last video, when you drop in a puddle, you know how the waves go? That's how you actually do. Make yourself be happy with what you do. Before I continue, I want you to know to go with the grain. What with the grain means is you see how the waves in the wood are, the way they go to the left or the right, or they go up or down, like you can just tell the way the waves are, though that's the grain, okay? That is the grain. What I mean by the grain, how are the waves? The rings, whatever, you know how that they say that you can tell how old a tree is by counting the rings. That's the grain. So if you were staining a tree or a tree trunk, you would literally just go from the outside or from the inside out. And everybody's got their own ways, okay? But the grain is following the lines, following the waves. So what I mean by the waves or the lines or the grain, the waves are like, let's see, they're going to the left. They're going to the left of you, and you choose to just swipe up and down, up and down, up and down. That's not going to be great. If you can see right here where the waves are, how they're just going pushing up towards me, I would push down or up to do the grain. That's the grain to go with.